Say hello to Flipster, the nation's #1 real estate investing software. With tools for finding leads, funding deals, and flipping houses. Find motivated sellers at the push of a button. With phone numbers and email addresses, and built-in SMS, ringless voicemail, and email templates. Run comps on any house in seconds. Make offers, find cash buyers, and get paid. Plus, custom websites, training, digital contracts, rehabbing tools, property workflows, and much more. To learn more, go to joinflipster.com.
The idea behind the way we created Flipster, which we built this in 2014 and we've been constantly improving it since then. And so you see here, you got the sidebar with all these different things. First thing you'll do is you'll go to find deals and you'll go to the lead finder dashboard. And one of the questions I saw was, can Flipster replace PropStream? Yes, we actually have just as much data as PropStream now and more. And we actually update our data more frequently than PropStream does on a lot of the leads. Yeah, we have over 150 million records. So let's say I want to go to 33604, which is Tampa. I'll put the zip code in, and then what it'll do is it'll show me how many leads we have in all these different categories. So 105 MLS, look at how many absentee owners and so on. There's even a cash buyer category. And then you can say, well, let's take a look at some absentee owners. And then it'll give you, this list. And clearly it's showing me only 1 out of 50 out of 2,000. So you can do some things now where you can go individually. Like, let's say we wanted to take a look at this one. We'll click on it. I'll just go through it real quickly. So let's say this one, Rampart. If I pull this up here, now it's going to give me all my data on that property, as much as is available. And you can see here, it's got owner name, absentee. Yep, here's a Google map. So pretty cool. It gives me some equity and things over here so I can get an idea what's going on there. And I can start to go through a process here. If I want to work this lead, then I can add this to properties. And then what's going to happen here is you can create custom lists, but I'm just going to add it to the general properties category. Okay, so if I open this, I can do what's called a workflow. And then what this is going to do is this is now going to allow me to work through this lead. So first is, here's all my info about this property. Again, kind of high level. I can look at owner and equity information. I can look at a map view. If we've got any reports, we can do a report. We can actually create a folder and create images. But the next step is going to be making contact. So here's some scripts. If you were to call, it's like, here's a text script. If you're doing some text blasting, then there's email, ringless voicemail, cold call. So it walks you through whatever level of marketing you want to do. Here's your deal analyzer, so you can run your numbers. So we have a custom deal analyzer. You would decide, okay, what do I want to do here? Is this a fix and flip, light, average, heavy? I'll just go through this real quickly. And for now, I'll just say, no, I'm not wholesaling. We can add that later. And then it's going to open up and create a deal analyzer. It actually has all the numbers in here based on those preset formulas. So it took the average price per square foot and told me the ARV is 329. Now, is that accurate? Maybe, maybe not, because it's ballparking based off the zip code, but at least it gives you a ballpark number. If I wanted to make a $15,000 wholesale fee, I'd add that in. And now my buy is 177. So right there, I could be on the phone making an offer and have an idea. This is basically the 70% formula. So whatever you can adjust these numbers, but see, I'm still working in step 2. I can skip trace now. I can go to my motivated seller site. If you've got that level, you actually have your own site. Then I'll go to analyze this. We already did it on the quick, because oftentimes you need to do your analysis before you can contact the seller. But here's your formal analysis step. Then we get to the contract. Flipster has built-in digital contracts. So you can create your contract, email it over for signature. This is where you would work with your buyer. So here's where you could market and find your buyer. So it's got, again, all these different steps to find your buyer. Step 6 would be your contract with your buyer. So this would be your assignment. Create your assignment, again, digital, right built into the system. If it's a fix and flip, then you would have that. So right now this is on, you can switch this between wholesale or fix and flip. It'll change the steps because one of them you're wholesaling, one of them you're keeping, but you would decide that right here. And then how are you getting this funded, and then you're closing and getting paid. And again, so it's got all these different built-in tools. This is just your workflow. So it's really nice because you can keep yourself on track and move along your leads, hopefully to closing. So that's kind of a big picture. You got all these other things in here on the tab, so you can go through and do all these different marketing things. And so some of the things that are in the workflow are also over here. So you could go straight to some of these options. Under managing deals, we've got a bunch of tools for fix and flip, like a rehab scope of work, a budget tracker, things like that. We have funding solutions if you are doing fix and flip. In the training tab, we've got a lot of resources. If you go to like the resources tab, we've got like all these different things. Every time I create something new and useful and helpful, that gets added in here to your resource tab. So it's pretty powerful. It's very custom to flipping, so wholesaling and flipping. So like if someone were to say to me, well, what's the difference between this and PropStream? Well, PropStream is primarily just a data source. So you're just getting your data there. What we've done with Flipster is we've got the data as well, but then also custom tools just for your wholesaling and flipping. We've been doing a lot with the data. We've been really working hard on making it more functional, better UI to move through stuff, more leads, better leads. And then we've got our custom stuff. So we've got also our, let me just go real quick back to 33604, back to Tampa. So then here's our MLS, so like this one, you could click on this, should be able to click this MLS link. There's that property. Big picture, down and dirty. There's 3 levels, basic, pro, prime. And each level gets you access to just a whole bunch more tools. Like we have a cash buyer website to post all your properties. We have a seller site for doing marketing to sellers. We have funding solutions and all these different things. If you are doing on market and you like Flipster, I would really consider Pro or Prime because that gets you that custom proof of funds letters, which is huge.